Hello, welcome everyone. In the second lecture on general time dependent perturbation theory, as you recall, in lecture 1, we have shown that the effect of time dependent perturbation operating over a system can be understood in terms of time dependence relation for coefficient of expansion used to expand the wave function. If I have the unperturbed wave function as psi k e to the power minus I ekt upon h cross, then in terms of these basis wave functions, as per the expansion theorem, any wave function psi t can be expanded as psi t is equal to summation over all the states, unperturbed states, ckt psi k e to the power minus I ekt upon h cross. This is the relation. Now, if I take this CKT, please remember CKT carries all the time dependence that is coming into the states due to the time dependence perturbation. This time dependence of these coefficients can be written as 1 upon IH cross summation over K V N I plus summation term. Now, this equation number 1 is the result of what we have discussed in lecture 1. So we consider the equation number 1 as the basic equation for today's lecture. This equation, and try to understand how to find out the transition probability from initial state to a final state as a result of operating this perturbation. Let us consider that at t is equal to 0, that is when the perturbation is operative, the system is in an initial state. Psi at t is equal to 0 is the state psi I, and therefore all other states, the expansion coefficients are equal to 0. So we can write Ck as delta Ki. If k is not equal to I state, all other states are not having any probability of having the particle there. And therefore, we can expand the equation number 1 in terms of del psi nt upon del t is equal to 1 upon IH cross V nit e to the power I omega nit plus summation over all other states. In order to calculate the transition rate to the first order, all CKT are very small in comparison to the initial state, and therefore in equation number 2, in this equation we can neglect the summation term, and once we neglect the summation term, the to a first order, the rate of change in the coefficient of initial state becomes like 1 upon IH cross V nit e to the power I omega nit, or integrating this we get the coefficient of expansion for the state n, the final state, as 1 upon IH cross the time integral as given in equation number 3. This. Now once I have calculated this equation, we can calculate the transition probability for a general time dependent perturbation, as the transition probability is the square of this expansion coefficient. Sometimes it happens that when a time dependent perturbation is operative, it may not lead to any significant change in the initial state, and therefore we may have to calculate or derive similar equation in the second order, where the first order term is either 0 or the problem demands higher accuracy. In order to derive the equation for second order, that is C and T in second order, a transition from initial state to final state is considered through an intermediate state K. Now, how to find out the second order term? In this situation, we substitute the expression for CKT in first order. Please remember, for the intermediate state, in the summation term. That means the equation del CNT upon del T becomes 1 upon IH cross the first term, initial state to final state, plus the summation term in other states involves a term as given in the equation 4 CK1T. Now, this equation 4 gives rise to the expression for coefficient in second order as given in equation 5. So this is how we find out the higher order perturbation effect on a state. Now this is the general theory. In general, the time dependent perturbation may have a specific form, and in order to find out this specific perturbation potential, we take the first example, that is harmonic perturbation. A harmonic perturbation can be defined as a perturbation potential which is sinusoidally oscillating, that is harmonic. This type of perturbation can be visualized mathematically having either a sine or cosine waves type of time dependence. So this type of perturbation can be written as VRT is equal to 2VR cos omega t, where 2VR, 2 is the term that I have included just for the sake of convenience. VR is the potential that depends only on the position vector, and cos omega t carries the time dependence. This can be bifurcated into two terms, exponential having positive exponential and negative exponential. Now, if I substitute this type of perturbation in the expression for coefficient of expansion C and T, we get finally the equation number 6. Now in this equation, the time integral, if you see carefully, it has two terms, omega ni plus omega and omega ni minus omega, and therefore the time integral in this equation, this integral, on the average this will go to 0 until and unless following two conditions are satisfied. The condition number 1, that omega must be equal to minus omega ni. That means EI minus En, energy of the initial state and energy of the final state, corresponds to the quanta of energy. This condition means that out of the two expression or the two terms in the time integral, one term goes to 0. The second condition similarly can be derived, that omega is equal to omega ni, and in that case we get EI is equal to En minus h cross omega. Plus h cross omega means a quanta of energy is emitted, and minus h cross omega means a quanta of energy is absorbed. And therefore we can summarize that as a result of time dependent harmonic perturbation, either a quanta of energy is emitted or a quanta of energy is absorbed. So this gives rise to either emission of photon or absorption of photon. Emission of photon condition is condition 1 and absorption of photon is condition number 2. Let us now try to derive the transition probability for the case of emission of radiation. The transition probability, as we have discussed, is nothing but the square of the expansion coefficient in final state. So we find out CNT. CNT is as given by this equation. Now, this integration can be solved very easily as given here. In this equation, if I take out this term outside, we get a equation like this. This expression in the square bracket can be solved using the Euler equation, and we get finally the square of CNT as the equation given in this. So this is the transition probability when a time dependent perturbation is operative and this perturbation is harmonic. However, there is a need to be cautious. This formula for the probability of transition from an initial state I to a final state N is only applicable when the perturbation is operative for a short duration in comparison to the time calculated by 1 upon omega Ni upon omega. If on the other hand, the time duration for which the perturbation operative is large in comparison to 1 upon omega Ni upon omega, the square bracket term, this becomes a delta function represented by 2 pi t upon into delta omega Ni plus omega. We will derive this term later on. However, if I replace this term be replaced in this square bracket, then we can find out the probability of transition in case the perturbation is operated for a long duration, and we get the transition probability increasing linearly with time. This is an important result in case of emission of radiation, that is when the condition omega is equal to minus omega Ni is satisfied. In the next lecture, we shall discuss the case of harmonic perturbation in absorption, as well as when this perturbation is operated over continuum states, we get a very important result known as the Fermi-Golden rule. Thank you.